Hey to all of the fathers out there, everybody else, just have a nice sunny Sunday. So I don't know what I'm going to be doing today. Kind of think I need to work on my Silverstone setup. Well, let's see here if Simulation has set up their, Rick? I said no. He's been very, very bad, naughty boy lately. What's up? Okay, they have not posted their next race location, which should come sometime today. Okay, so what do we feel like doing? Practice, qualifying, now 45-minute race, practice. What else have we got? Let's look at page 2. GTs. Nothing for hypercars, really. I did do a weekly race yesterday, last night. Second lap got rear-ended, got damage, suspension damage, and aero damaged. But I kept on racing for an hour and a half that way. So it did limit my speed somewhat, but still had a good outcome. Started last, finished 9th. So I think it was 16 or 17 hypercars. Okay, well, maybe I'll just go practice Silverstone a bit here. I was actually practicing for Barcelona. I wanted to do the championship. Except we ended up, no, Rick, you behave. Ended up with like two or three hypercars, 2 or 3 GTs. Me and Dale decided to do a weekly instead. There were more people there, but I think it was still very boring for him. Not sure. I think one of the GTs pulled out quite early in the race. They were 5 to start off with. For Silverstone, here it is. So although the car behaved itself, can I get any more performance out of it? Let's check that out. Let's try one of our friends' setup here that he sent me. Yeah, another thing, after an hour and a half, let's just say that I was happy that the race ended. Because my tires were shot. Need to practice driving on hard tires a little bit more for longer races. So yesterday I tried modifying my home-built cockpit here. Move the pedals 2 or 3 inches further away. That created a whole bunch of issues for me. turned out I had more power to actually brake. Pedals a bit, slowly get used to their new location. Trying them out, I was locking up my brakes a lot. But I also was trying out Barbie, which have a lot of braking coming downhill and short acceleration runs that becomes an airplane. So maybe it was just more of a track decision rather than a general issue. Last night I had any issues. Just once. I locked up in front of Dale. Slightly. A little bit of lockup doesn't get any good. But I did want to pass him and not have to wait until the next possible. Greg? Greg? Really? Okay, let me just... It's a wood there so that he doesn't get tempted. You behave, because I'm tired of you not behaving. No, you're not going out. I said no. Another thing that I tried last night, was moving my wheelbase to my top desk here. Oh yeah, I drilled holes, mounted it. Unfortunately, my desk isn't very deep. I ran into the issue where I kind of need a 15cm extension to have the steering wheel at a comfortable distance. I don't want to be driving at arm's length. $200 extension that holds up here. Let's face it, folks, my roll base is an R3. Already I've been noticing some firmness on the force feedback side of things. Not as detailed. Ever since I got the KS Pro, you know. And a much heavier wheel than the original KS. So adding another extension to it would have bent it down a little bit. And because of that, I've been thinking of upgrading my wheelbase, but also checking put that on marketplace instead of sell my RP logo. But because I live in such a remote place, I don't ship it or anything like that. More or less waiting for somebody locally to buy it. So I got a lot of views, but everybody's noticing that it's far from them, so. Paycheck. When I do find a buyer, put that money into marketplace. But I am in no rush. Hello, Sir Justin. How are you today? Phone not on. Oh, can you guys not hear me? I said hello, Justin. Let's see what's going on here. Yep, the microphone is working, okay. I was talking and I guess nobody could hear me. Let's get the text-to-speech up and running so that I can hear you as well. There we go. So everything should be up and working. Alrighty. Oh, sorry, buddy. Oh, I got no damage from that? Okay, let's continue on then. Yeah, I was a little bit in a hurry. It's kind of running late. Not much late, but I didn't want to run any later. Whoa, dude. You trying to pull up Psycho? I wanted to do the championship yesterday with Dale. And there was like only 3 or 4 people in each category or class or whatever you want to call it. We decided to do a weekly race. I had like 17 or 18 hypercars in my class, but Dale still had only like 5 GT3s. I'm guessing he was pretty bummed out, pretty bored in last night's race. But there was this guy Anthony Psycho in a Ferrari. It kept spinning out all over the track, rejoining very dangerously in a hypercar, and he DNF'd like 1 or 2 laps before the end. It was an hour and 40-minute race. For once I did not stream it. Oh, he was streaming it last night? Oh, I did not know that. Okay. Why is my text-to-speech not working? Why is it not on? I did turn it on. Oh, I didn't know he was streaming it last night. Okay. It was outside of my regular hours, so I figured I'm not going to stream it. Since it was already a very slow Saturday afternoon. So did you see that crazy Ferrari spinning all over the place, all over the track? I was practicing for Barcelona yesterday because that's what the championship race was. Kind of hopped in Silverstone, not really having tweaked my setup, and wasn't ready for an hour and 40-minute race either. Rick, I am gonna get so mad at you. Get the spray bottle ready to spray him. Had to put him in his cage last night, but I decided to keep the cage on the bed with me so he wouldn't get too antsy. Woke up this morning, my bed cover was torn to shreds. I am not happy with my cat. Okay, so because the mic wasn't near enough, I guess you guys didn't hear that I was talking about rearranging my home-built cockpit yesterday. So I moved the pedals back 3 inches, and that created all kinds of issues because I have a little bit more power in my foot under braking, and I started locking up all over Algarve. Played around with my brake settings yesterday. It went from 35 kilos to 45, 50. Also tried mounting my wheelbase to the top shelf here. Drilled the holes and all that. I should have kind of tested first, because then I ran into another issue, which was the steering was too far away. I was at arm's length to hold the steering wheel, and that's not comfortable. I kind of need a 15 centimeter extension that Moses sells for $200. But I'm already complaining that with this steering wheel, the force feedback is numb a bit. So with the extension, it would be even worse. So what are you up to today, Justin? Just chilling? I saw that Dell had a stream scheduled, and I'm kind of confused because it says it's for 9 o'clock tonight. But in the description it says the 21st of June, Thursday. But we're not Thursday. We're Sunday. I'm kind of confused as to what that stream is all about. Kind of joined it because I thought he was going to go live. Trying this aggressive setup. Seems pretty safe, but also strangely feels understeer.
Justin Slim Friesen says no plans, did Father's Day yesterday, and had a BBQ at friends, so prob. Just stay home all day today.
Ooh, okay. Barbecue season. Nice. Haven't had.
Justin Slim Friesen says no plans, did Father's Day yesterday, and had a BBQ at friends, so prob. Just stay home all day today.
That was weird. Why did my text-to speech say it twice? Yeah, most people did Father's Day yesterday. So somebody I called this week, because I don't know if you remember mentioning this, I had no gas in the tank.
Justin Slim Friesen says guess he thought it was that important, lol.
So that person yesterday came and brought me some gas. I put gas in the car. Wasn't sure that's the issue, but because my gauge is all over the place. I don't know what's going on with it. Seems I'm not the only one that's not getting a proper readout. from that model of vehicle from that year. But let's just say that I've been using up way more gas than I should. Like, since I moved here, I only use my vehicle to go to the local store here to do my groceries, which is a kilometer. And I had 130 kilometers in my tank 6 months ago when I arrived here. But some weeks it would say I had like, it would be going down like 10-20 kilometers a week every time I get into my vehicle. But then it would jump back up, then jump back down, then jump back up. Last week it said I had like 20 kilometers left in my tank. Then I go to use it this week and no gas. Car wouldn't start. I was hoping it would be gas the issue, but wasn't 100% sure. Got some gas yesterday and it started up right away. Well, this week I gotta bring it to the garage and have a couple of estimates because there's quite a bit of work that it needs. That's why I'm trying to sell my wheelbase instead of just outright buying a new one. So I've had hundreds of views, but it stated that I'm not doing any shipping. So it's only for pickup, and since I live so far away from anything, I'll just have to be patient for somebody locally interested in buying it. But maybe I could throw this at you and tell me what you think. I put the R3 bundle and the KS wheel for 500 bucks. Like, that's the price of the R3 bundle brand new. So I throw in a KS wheel. I think it's a good deal. Although I mentioned slightly used, but, you know, let's face it, I've used it quite a bit.
Justin Slim Friesen says yeah, seems like a reasonable asking price.
Alright. Yeah, it's getting a lot of views, just no offers or nothing. So discovered that this track is really hard on rear tires. Doesn't seem like it here with this setup though. But with my default safe setup, my rear tires were at like 49-50% at the end of the race. Whereas the fronts were like 69-70. That's a big difference between the fronts and rears. had a good race last night. Second lap, somebody ran into my rear. Had suspension damage, aero damage. I was barely faster than the GT3s. Like, okay, I'm faster, but...
Justin Slim Friesen says that bundle is PlayStation compatible, right? Make sure that's in the ad.
No, it's not. And the PlayStation is the R5. There's one that's compatible with the PlayStation. The R3, there is a version that's compatible with the Xbox. That's not the version. I didn't want to pay $50 more for compatibility.
Justin Slim Friesen says okay.
I don't play consoles. I don't have an Xbox. So why would I want to pay? I should have, but I wasn't thinking of selling it when I bought it. So this setup ain't bad. I don't think that was right, though. Did I not load up my... I thought I loaded up this one. I am super confused now. I'm like, this feels safe. Yeah, because it's my safe setup, apparently. Had myself a good pit yesterday. Just added 2 extra laps. So I'm happy. I'm happy with the readouts here. It gives me a pretty good idea of how much fuel to put in. And I just put a little bit more to make sure that should it go longer, I can go longer. Another reason I didn't stream it last night, because I knew that an hour and 40-minute race, I would be lighting up a cigarette here and there while I was racing. But the pit worked out for me, because although I didn't gain any positions, I also did not lose any. Came out 8 seconds in front of the guy behind me, and was able to continue climbing my way. I did not change tires. Did not do any repairs. But man, an hour and 40 minutes is a long race for me. I made sure I went to the bathroom before, but that last 20 minutes I had to go again. Oh! Okay, lost it here. Out of nowhere for no reason. I mean, sure, the tires are cold, but I wasn't even driving aggressively or nothing. Hey guys, I'm facing the wrong way. That was fun. Well, that's one way to get tires up to temperature. A little bit too aggressive. Oh, why do I keep losing it? Here. Oh, what happened to my... Whoa. Going pretty wide. So was Dale bored of his race yesterday? Since you watched the last 30 minutes of his stream? I'm guessing he was. There's only 5 cars when he started. And for a moment there, he was almost 4 cars. Before the race started. Struggling to get some heat at least.
Justin Slim Friesen says yeah, he lose. He had a huge boring lead, no excitement at all.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, he took the lead from the start. No fighting, no battles, no nothing. Every GT I came across were so slow and getting out of the way. Like they would go out of their way to get out of our way. Like literally they would lift and get out of the way. I was really surprised to see them do that.
Justin Slim Friesen says yeah, seemed like it must have been a very low rated lobby. Nobody seemed like they knew how to race TBH.
Yeah, a lot of the hypers did not know how to race. But some of them did. I mean, the top 3 hypers were racing each other through and through the race. And 2 of them spun out towards the end. One hitting a wall.
Justin Slim
and
Friesen says hash rating, don't lie lol.
And for real. And 2 of them spun out, but one hit the wall, lost his wing, and called it quits. But the 3 leaders were one right after the other, following each other through and through the race. I got lapped like 2 or 3 times, and every time they came around was all 3 of them together. Yeah, I'm not, my heat's going down. I need to get more heat into these tires. Yeah, it wasn't a super interesting race for me, but it wasn't a super boring one either. Like, I wasn't racing nobody after the first couple of laps. Other than just checking the times and making sure nobody was catching up to me. And maintaining pretty much the same times as the guy in front of me. So I wasn't closing up on him, but I wasn't falling more and more behind either. Just that first 2-3 laps, man, everybody was all over the place. Like I say a lot of them, but I'm guessing like 5 of them, including Psycho, did not know how to drive hypercars. And I don't know why they would do something like that. Like, it was quite obvious to me that Psycho probably had a pedal set like I have, and just locking up in every corner. And he probably kept on trying all the way to the end of trying to figure out how we were not locking up our brakes, and he was. I think I had like 17 laps on him by the end of the race. Or it might have been 12, something like that. Every time I came across him. Like, he was in front of me, heading into a corner, locking up the brakes and spinning out. I don't think I've ever lapped the guy so often ever. And you would have thought that the guy would have DNF'd, but I don't know if he was just trying to cause havoc for everybody else. Or if he was really just trying to understand how to brake. But I would not have decided to learn hypercars in a ranked race. Although, honestly, that's kind of where I started in the dailies with the Aston Martin. Locked up at the first corner, and then I was like, okay, I need to start braking much earlier and gentler. Did my race, but didn't do anything good. But then the first time I decided to get behind the wheel with was practice server Usail.
Justin Slim Friesen says, well, Dale had rear-ended him earlier in the race. Dale was convinced that he was waiting for the last lap to take him out. Lol.
Oh, that could have been, you know, that... I thought, because at some point...
Justin Slim Friesen says, TBH, it did seem like that might happen.
That's a definite possibility. I was also afraid of something like that too. Because shortly after the beginning of the race, he put in the chat that, hey, you ran into me, F you, that kind of stuff. And then, like I said, the guy was like 12 laps down, spinning into every corner. So clearly, dude, I don't know why you're complaining that somebody ran into you when you're just a nutcase. Like, learn how to brake. I'd be following him and he just locked up and spin out.
Justin Slim Friesen says, yuck, that was directed at Dale or so, I'm told.
And by the end there, I was wondering if he wasn't gonna wreck the race for everybody else. Because it made no sense. The guy was not learning. He kept spinning out in every single corner. And just sticking around. I was afraid of that myself. I had my own issues with another guy. Where Louis. Same first name and last name. The guy just ran into me. Like, I think we're going in through slow corners, like something like this here, and he just floors it and smashes into my rear. I watched the replay earlier today, and he comes back out on track and then decides to just cut the track. Like these corners here, he would just cut through the grass, trying to bypass this bend here. But I guess his tires weren't warm, because when he did try to brake and stuff, he ended up against the wall and DNF two laps later. I had a feeling that he would have been somebody that would have been waiting somewhere on the track to hit me again, and I didn't know why he hit me in the first place. But some people just don't like the turtle. Okay, the tires are starting to grit here, and I'm kind of surprised that the temperatures aren't higher than that. And I closed the ducts in the front, and I can't get no heat into them. But they're gripping though. I'm confused. Oh, really? That will not count. Man, that's infuriating. Just at the last minute there. Yeah, I like this setup. Well, this is the aggressive. Okay, it did change a few things, but... Ooh, coming in too fast. Ooh, coming in way too fast. Okay, tires are finally starting to climb up. I need to get used to driving on hard tires. For so many reasons. Oops. Okay. Did I forget to save any other changes I made to them? Need to practice Algarve because I'm locking up in every single corner. That's after I changed my pedal position. I don't know if it's because I wasn't used to it, but I recalibrated and now I've driven a bit. A little bit more used to them now, maybe. Let's see if it makes a difference. Oh, I should have gone and seen if there was any hosted races. I don't feel like doing any rank stuff. Last night's race threw me off.
Justin Slim Friesen says drove that a bit this morning. I need a lot of relearning myself. Lol.
Well, I've seen you drive, but yeah, you've been distracted. Like, have you gotten any news about your apartment stuff yet? Or, like, you have stuff going on in your life, so I kind of understand why you're not driving as much. But you're still driving, because, like you say, you go and drive your roommate, and then you drive a bit every day. So I'm kind of surprised that you're telling me that you need to relearn. Or maybe just because you've been dipping in iRacing more than LMU. And I'm locking up, but the tires are cold.
Justin Slim Friesen says Tuesday, we need to make a down payment.
Oh, so you've been accepted? So they did their inquiry thingy and all is good? The last news I had is that you were waiting to see if you passed the verification thing. So down payment seems like you've been accepted, so down payment and then start making boxes.
Justin Slim Friesen says no, we didn't know that the down payment was needed to advance the approval process.
Really? Is that even legal though? Like, they gonna give you back the money if you're not approved? That seems pretty sus. Here, this is not legal here in Quebec. And even one place I remember I had to pay the first month and the last month of the lease. A yearly lease, so I had to pay for the first month and the last month. But when we got to the last month, they were hoping I forgot about it and charged me again for rent and took me to the rental board.
Justin Slim Friesen says yes, we'll get it back if we're not approved.
Okay. Yeah, one time they asked me for the first and last month, hoping that I forgot that I had paid the last month, and they took me to the rental board, which I paid by card, so I still had the receipts. And they tried to explain, yeah, well, that's just in case he damages the apartment. They were saying all kinds of crap. But they're not allowed to do that, so. They're not allowed to ask for deposits on potentially damage to the apartment, and they're not allowed to ask you for the last month of the lease and stuff like
Justin
that.
Slim Friesen says, and if we are approved, let's go to the damage deposit.
Okay. See, we don't have that. That's not legal here. A lot of landlords try to do that stuff. Okay, so I'm not locking up my brakes even on cold tires, which aren't really cold because I've got tire warmers. But yesterday I was locking up in every single corner. Couldn't figure out why.
Justin Slim Friesen says not legal there. That's really weird.
Nope, not legal here. They can do a credit check, but they're not allowed to ask for deposits. They're not allowed to charge for potential damages. And they're not allowed to ask you for like the last month of the lease in advance. Or asking you to pay 2 months in advance. They do it, but they're not allowed to. You can take them to the rental board. Well, the thing is that it became illegal here because it's normal to have to repaint after a tenant leaves, but they would charge it as damages, and it doesn't cost like $500 to repaint an apartment. You know, 2 or 3 gallons that used to cost like $25 each. So landlords were screwing everybody right, left, and center.
Justin Slim Friesen says no damage deposit. If stupid, if I owned and wanted to rent out my place, that seems so unfair. A lot of bad people out there that wreck stuff.
Yeah, I agree, but the thing here is that landlords would keep the money no matter what. So then they passed the laws that they decided to put all the cards on the renters rather than the owners. Yeah, Quebec had very, very bad landlords for the longest. Whoa! Was he trying to get into the pits and just ran right into me? Wow. What an ass! Yeah, like I said, you know, when I was a lot younger and getting into first couple of apartments, even then they weren't allowed to like charge the first and last month. But I paid it and whatnot. And I renewed my lease, but then they were asking me to pay the last month again. And I told them, you guys, when I came here, you asked for the first and last month. And they were like, no, that's impossible. We don't do that kind of stuff. And they took me to the rental board and I had the receipts. You know. And they were trying to say, no, that's for, you know, potential damages and stuff. Like, their version changed all the time. We have really, really bad landlords here. Even, whoa! Even like, what, maybe 15, 20 years ago, I moved out. And I lived somewhere for 10 years in the same apartment. And I just had it with the new ownership. So I left, I moved.
Justin Slim Friesen says, sounds like a good trustworthy place to live raw.
And I moved out. And then the next thing I know, my neighbor says, I've already been gone for like 4 or 5 months when he called me up. Says, yeah, there's a letter on your door. It's taking you to the rental board. Like, what? You know? But it kind of ended up taking a year to get our court date. Because the first time you show up, you know, it's just a formality. And like, when you do your change of address, the driver's license board sends you a little coupon. You know, to tag to your driver's license for the change of address. And so a year later, he has a witness saying that she saw me take out the trash last Sunday night. And all I had to do is show my little change of address thing to say, look, and a copy of my current lease, saying that I haven't even been living there for the past year. You know, yes, so trustworthy place, not. I mean, he was probably just trying to go through the procedures, because as a building owner, if somebody doesn't pay their rent, you can claim it in your taxes so that you don't have to pay as much taxes on your business if people are not paying their rent. So every time your tenants leave, you just take them to court. They're never going to show up, because I would not have known if I hadn't lived there for 10 years and knew my neighbors. And the company just declares, some losses, so they don't have to pay as much taxes. Okay, well, I don't know if it's still because my tires are cold, but let's try to get around this track without spinning out. I need to just put some more traction control. Well, that car is still up against the wall there, the one that ran into me. He ain't moving from there. Like the AI is trying to get to the pits and he doesn't understand. Or maybe he doesn't have enough fuel to get back to the pits. I don't know this story, but stupid AI doing stupid AI stuff. So yeah, you say it's not trustworthy. Yeah, it isn't. Like I've seen, and I've been a janitor, for 12 years. Until that last tenant put me in a coma and I just quit everything. Because it's not worth it. Like, I've been a tenant myself. Big part of my life, and I worked as a janitor. But you get new owners, and they're like, okay, let's keep the janitor. And I try to tell them, yeah, you can't rent to somebody who's on methadone. You don't understand that these people used to be on heroin or codeine or whatever, and they drink, they're under medication, they got all these things, and they're just nutcases going through the revolving door of our justice system. But the owners don't care, they just want money. They'll take anybody all the time. Well, then you have a quack that's threatening other people with knives, pulling the fire alarm, and all kinds of stuff like that for no reason. And I told them not to take this guy, but they don't care. He's got cash in his hand, ready to rent out right away. I'm like, okay. After he put me in a coma, I'm like, it ain't worth it. I'm gonna end up losing my life because these owners just want money. They don't care if their janitor ends up dying because the owners wanted this $400 today. But yeah, I've seen owners do all kinds of shit. Like sometimes they'll say, well, the kitchen, the stove and fridge are not included, so you get your own. But when you leave, they'll take you to court claiming that the fridge and stove is theirs. So if you bought it secondhand and you don't have receipts for it, you're in trouble. All kinds of stuff, man, yeah. So it is kind of a pain, because when you have a bad tenant, it's really hard to kick him out, because all the laws favor the tenants, just because we've had so many crappy landlords, which is the majority of them. Okay, so I'm not locking up that badly here today. Yesterday was at every single corner. We get to a corner, lock up, lock up, lock up. But I'm noticing that my brake is not going all the way up either. Maybe I put it too strong. Maybe I need to fine-tune my calibration and bring it down a bit. Because it could also mean that I need more distance to brake. Well, I can also... I pretty much mashed it there. Not locking up. Okay, well, I'm not spinning out as much either. Well, maybe it was the cold tires. Maybe I just needed a little bit more traction control. Okay, that was a lockup. See, that's what was happening to me yesterday after I changed my pedal position. Every single corner, massive lockup. Okay, so I don't think I'm gonna change my thing. Ooh. Maybe my tires were still too hot. Well, that's why I love hard tires. You can barely feel the flat spots. Like I did a massive lockup and then spinned out. And I'm not even feeling that flat spot that much. But yeah, under normal braking though, I think my line's a little bit low. I'd like to see that come up a little bit more. So, not sure what I want to do with that. Like, I feel like I'm braking at 3/4, but I'm barely going to 50%. Yeah, I think I'd like it a little bit higher. It does take quite a while for this thing to load up, though. I mean, for such a simple piece of software. Let's try that for a while. And now I'm starting to feel this flat spot. Maybe I'm braking a little bit too much. Oh, maybe I just need to get used to it. Let's put on some new tires here because these are starting to square. I'm having a hard time getting within 5 seconds on this track. Got it on the camera again. The rear does want to come out on me in that corner. And in this one. Oh, what to do? What to do? Lower the rear? Ooh, that make it even worse though. Too aggressive.
Justin Slim Friesen says, how much wing you have on?
I think 12 or 13, so pretty fair amount. I think it goes all the way up to 16.
Justin Slim Friesen says, seems to me that max wing would work well here.
You're right, except this is the only straight where you get to pass other cars. So you kind of want to be able to get as much as you can. Otherwise, I would so agree with you. It's kind of like Interlagos. Where you don't get too many straights to do anything. Yeah, I was thinking that too. I was just hoping to find a workaround for that. But it's already maxed out at 12. So it doesn't go up to 16, it goes up to 12. I got as much as I'm gonna get. Why does it always disappear on?
Mike Wolf BLN says positive rake will raise wing higher.
Yeah, I tried lowering it, the rear, a notch to see if it would help, but let's try raising it.
Justin Slim Friesen says, but make the rear less stable. Mike Wolf BLN says imagining a hypercar with F1 style rake lol.
Hey, hello Mike. How are you today? Is it my fronts or my rears that are locking up? I always have a hard time telling.
Mike Wolf BLN says I was out late with some friends yesterday / this morning, so a little hungover.
Again. Well, that's a good thing.
Mike Wolf BLN says yeah, for me, it used to be 4 times a week lately, it's more like once every 6 months, but this was a special one, as they were over from Nick.
Really? Alright.
Mike Wolf BLN says my clients are mostly DJs, so it's a hard life XD.
Well, raising the rear a notch seemed to have made a difference in a good way. Although I also seem to be slower for some reason. Not by much.
Mike Wolf BLN says slightly higher drag code, F-int.
Well, I'm not slower now. I might actually break that 5 seconds that I'm trying to.
Mike Wolf BLN says coefficient. Justin Slim Friesen says, did you raise the rear ride height, or rear wing?
The rear height by just a click. I had it brought it down 1. It made things the same. Ooh, I missed my braking. Then I brought it up 2. So it went up 1 click. Oops. Man, I'm still losing it here.
Mike Wolf BLN says a lucky guess.
Yeah, I'm trying to make the rear more stable.
Justin Slim Friesen says, and that added stability to the rear.
Well, apparently not.
Mike Wolf BLN says the corner is awful.
Yes, it is.
Justin Slim Friesen says cause that should not work, it should be the opposite. Mike Wolf BLN says it's off camber and uphill. Mike Wolf BLN says yeah. Mike Wolf BLN says I suggest adjusting the way you attack that corner, rather than adjust the setup for one corner.
Yeah, this old dog has a hard time learning new tricks.
Mike Wolf BLN says, +1 Jeeps. Mike Wolf BLN says, I spin there a lot also.
Yeah, I don't like cars that are like, I like cars that are safe, even if I'm slow, because let's face it, you give me an e-sport setup and I won't be able to do
Justin
anything
Slim
with it.
Friesen says, yeah, there's a few corners on this track that is very easy to spin on.
You give me an e-sport setup and I don't have the skills to use it. I'd rather have a setup that's safe, that turns. I like a car that turns, though, but turns safely. And that I can drive for an hour and a half while smoking a cigarette. So I'll be slow, but I won't spin out or anything like that, Yes, I know I need to quit smoking, but I'm kind of waiting for that week that we'll have like 40 degrees every single day for 2 weeks. Where it's so hot that I can't.
Wolf BLN says only turn 3, turn 5, turn 7, turn 9, tonner 10. Mike Wolf BLN says, lol. Justin Slim Friesen says, me either Jeeps, I'm not capable of get a car to its limits, so I literally can't take advantage of what those esports setups I asking for. Michael BLN says, the rest are fine.
But I wanted to try the aggressive, and I'm trying to make it more stable, but actually,
Justin Slim Friesen says, lol Mike.
Unfortunately, I won't have time to go around again, but one thing I want to do. Let's do something radical, but something different. We played with the ride height, we played with the suspension. Let's go all out on the differential and see if that makes a difference. Oh, did I change the tires? Oh, I think I did. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. There we go. I think I might have accidentally saved over the default setup. Might have to load it up again. Because usually the setups that you give me, the ducts are all open, and I have to adjust that myself. Or did I assign something and not properly load it up? I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. My brain's toasted. Sometimes I accidentally, instead of hitting the load button, I hit the close button. No, we loaded it up.
Justin Slim Friesen says, and I leave them all wide open lol.
Well, it makes a lot of sense when you're driving GTs. Because after 3 corners, like the tires are already sticky and up to temperature. On a hypercar, if I leave them...
Justin Slim Friesen says, my tires stay in the 80 anyway, so no need for me.
Exactly. Whereas if I leave them open, they'll stay at 60, 65. Which is not ideal at all. These cars don't have ABS, so you need the tires to stick to be able to brake and corner and everything else. Some cars don't require much, but some others require a lot. Like I said, I'm watching other drivers, and the amount of scrubbing that they do with their tires is ridiculous. I can't be constantly driving that way. I'm just driving Miss Daisy. I wish these hypercars would have a bumper so I could put something on the bumpers. I think I'll stay with the safe. I can't get that aggressive to work. I need to delete it. I was hoping I could find a second off of my lap time, but it's not working out that way. Because what was it? On the Peugeot and on the Genesis, the aggressives that you were giving me, I really liked them. Like they needed just a little tweak to make him safer. But on the Toyota, the aggressives seem to be so unstable in my hands that I'm not liking it. I'm not liking them. You know, maybe in another 5 years of sim racing, I'll have the skills for that. I'm thinking not, you know? Oh, I'm so happy to see that AI car not creating a yellow flag here.
Justin Slim Friesen says, I can't remember if there was any tire changes in the update, do you?
I actually did not read. Which update are we talking about? Because last week they just rolled out a hot fix. And the one thing that they fixed was the thing I was telling you about. The engineer not giving you the right thing and resetting when you're getting into your stall thing. That's the only thing I noticed that they changed, but sometimes they do other tweaks, and I'm not like GC that goes through the entire list to see what they did to the Lambo.
Justin Slim Friesen says the update that brought in the new Toyota.
Okay, well that would have been, what, 1.3? Yeah, no, I don't think that they did any tire changes. To my recollection, the tires don't feel different. Granted, I haven't been trying the Genesis or the Peugeot as much. Actually, I haven't touched the Genesis. But I was swinging between the Ferrari and the Peugeot. And those cars didn't, well, I wasn't used to the Ferrari. But I didn't notice anything while driving the Peugeot. Then one day I was like, Did they change the Toyota? I looked at it, it was different, so I tried it out.
Justin Slim Friesen says, and that pit stop fix was just for driver swap, FYI.
No, it wasn't. They were talking about the values that didn't line up and reset when you entered the pits. Like, I literally saw it happen to me.
Justin Slim Friesen says, unlike you, I read it. Justin Slim Friesen says, lol.
Where is that stupid thing? Bum, bum, bum. Where did Dale put it? Oh man, did he just put it in the LMU chat? I'm gonna have to scroll up quite a bit to find it again. Fix engineer mode changes, swapping back to the value set before the pit stop. Oh, after driver swapping to a teammate. Well, that happened to me. The values were changing. Like, you go to your thing here and you call a pit stop, it won't work because I'm not in a race. Because I was not in a driver swap race. But see the information that it gives here? It says like I need 53. Well, I calculate, well, it was telling me I needed like 72. And I was like, no, I kind of did it myself, and between my gauge and that, it was more around 50 that I needed. And just as I'm pulling into, but anyways, I'm not going to argue. I set it to 72, 75. And as I'm pulling into my pit there, just before
Justin Slim Friesen says, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And just as I'm about to stop in my square, the thing changed to 50. And I'm like, it's too late for me to change it now. I was so infuriated with that. Because normally there's not a big difference between the two of these. See, 50 or 36, whatever, that's a big difference, but that's because I need to do 2 or 3 laps for everything to stabilize. But every, they usually get within 10 of each other. Or 5 or whatever. And then I put another lap or two extra. But it's a big difference between 50 and 75.
Justin Slim Friesen says, that would have pissed me off also.
Yeah, because I kind of want to trust my new gauge, but I do know that I need to put a little bit extra. But it's a big difference between 50 and 75. So I'm at my pit stop a lot longer than I wanted to. Let's face it, I'm not the most competitive guy there, so it's not like I'm fighting for first place. I just hate losing a place when I don't have to. So yeah, that's the thing that happened to me, and I'm like, oh, and then I saw the fix that it's fixing the not reporting the right thing or resetting it when you stop into the pits. I hadn't continued to read on. It's when your driver's swapping to a teammate. But hey, maybe it was also happening to solo people. They just didn't report it because they weren't noticing it. Because if you're not paying attention to that thing 2 seconds before hitting your square, then you're not going to realize that it's switched on you. Just so happens I was, because I come into the pits really slowly. And even then I couldn't understand it. I was scratching my head why they were so off from one another. See, one says 10%, the other one...
Justin Slim Friesen says, I mean it is LMU, so yeah, good chance, everything was broken, lol.
Well, see, there's a big difference now. One says I need 10%, the other one says I need 42%. You know, so which one is it? Well, I get confused. Oh, see, it just went down to 22, and with the other one to 15. So I need to do a couple of laps.
Justin Slim Friesen says, they are roughly saying the same number.
Well, now they are. One was saying 10, the other one was saying 50. Now 22 and 15 is a lot closer. I need to do a couple of laps for it to stabilize. But that's what was happening. I'm almost at the end of the race, and it's a big difference. Now 18, 22. See, they're lining up a lot more now. Like, I expect that at the beginning of a race, not at the end, where I need to go and pit. See, this car's a lot safer. I'm gonna stick with this one and delete the other one. I'm gonna actually delete both because I think I saved over the one that you gave me. So I don't want to pick it up again by accident. Yeah, it was infuriating. Because, as you know, it's hard for me to read these little numbers on the screen. And the one time that I'm doing it, that I'm putting the effort to do it, it's lying to me. And then just as I'm pulling up, it says, no, no, I haven't been lying to you. This is what it was all along.
Justin Slim Friesen says your overlay is saying how much you need to add to what you have right now. The engineer is say how much to leave the pit with on a specific lap. Justin Slim Friesen says, I don't know how else to explain it.
No, that's it. That's exactly it. I love my little overlay. It makes things a lot easier to understand. And I also like the breakdown of how many laps I have of fuel to do. How long in minutes am I good for? Like when, what is it? Crew chief tells you, well, the pits will be opening on this lap, and by this lap, you got to pit. But then 39 laps later, I don't remember what they're talking about. But at least with that gauge, when I see that I'm down to 5 minutes worth of gameplay, I need to start setting up my pit stops and stuff. In case something bad happens. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with the safe setup. Oh, I would have done this one. 30, 10. This wouldn't have been so bad either. Don't be a hero. What does that mean? I want to be the hero. Can I not be the hero of my own story? Dang, they weren't very many for this race. Let me see, did I even have tire warmers? Oh, they won't say? Because the race is already over? Whatever. Ooh, they disappeared. They were over. Okay, because they all disappeared. Yep, nothing much going. Wow, 1 hour race. Yeah, I would have liked to be part of this one, though. Oh well, LOL. What's coming up next week? Monza has been so bad for me this week. I'll be happy to see it go. Which is weird because I love Monza. I've just been having, I think I did 3 races here, and every single time I lost ranking doing them. I'm confused. I thought I clicked schedule. Am I just being retarded today? I think I'm just being retarded. I think I need to go and cook my chicken. Chicken sounds good. Yep, okay. I think I'm gonna end the stream there. Weird way to end the stream. Weird day today. I'm just feeling I kind of want to drive. I kind of want to race. But I'm kind of feeling lazy to do it, if that makes any sense.
Mike Wolf BLN says okay laters.
Later, Mike. Get some rest, buddy.
Justin Slim Friesen says, alright later.
Later, Justin. You guys have a good one. And see you tomorrows.